Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and no guest tonight. So it is Open Lines, World Wide Web of Weird. I honestly have no guest until January 18th, and I just booked that just like 20 minutes ago. I've been trying to find guests. That guest is Carmen Turner Scott. We've had on the show before, and I can't wait to have her on. I'm only having her on for like an hour, I think, every time. She's got to be up early the next day. But I'm looking forward to that. And I'm working on getting guest booked for the following, pretty much 2026, because I got nothing for December. So we're going to do a lot of open lines, World Wide Web of Weird, short shows, probably this next month, unless I have some last-minute guests I can get on. If you are a paranormal experiencer and know somebody you think should really, have a night to talk about their story for an hour or so, reach out to me at paranormalsoup, jbland@gmail.com. I want to have real experiences on here. It's not that I don't mind having the authors on and talking about their books they want to sell, but I am looking for people that just want to talk about their experience and share and have a discussion about it. So reach out to me, paranormalsoup, jbland@gmail.com, if you're one of those people. And if you want to be anonymous and no camera, just your voice, I can't do the voice changer thing. That'd be cool, though. But we can do that, give you a fake name, whatever, if you don't. But I just want to have real conversations about these experiences. That's why I do the show. And that's tonight, you guys. You can call in tonight and do it. Lines will be open later in the show. We got a lot of weird, though. First half hour, we're going to just, usual World Wide Web of Weird, but we'll do extended World Wide Web of Weird. I got a lot of articles and all that. I missed some shows, I know. I got told I was very unprofessional for it. I'm sorry. But tonight, you guys make the show, and that's how it's going to be for December. You call in, you want to talk about whatever your paranormal experience, just not politics. Yeah, not politics. I don't care. But you want to talk about the weird, strange, unusual. Rob Reiner, crazily murdered in his home. I just read that headline. Him and his wife. It's horrible. The world is weird, dark, and amazing, and beautiful at times, too. We can talk about any and all above tonight. It's Open Lines, World Wide Web of Weird Extended tonight. Let's go ahead and get rolling into the show. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland. No guest tonight. Like I said, Open Lines, Extended World Wide Web of Weird. We're just hanging out. Probably shorter show. We don't usually go the 3 hours when it's Open Lines. Sorry. I'm not that interesting. I can't keep it that interesting. Sometimes it does. You guys make it interesting if you call in. Hang on for calling in right now, though. Don't do that yet. That'll be in about a half an hour from now. We'll really open up the lines and let you guys take over, right? Or the chat room. We will talk to you guys in the chat room. Hello on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. If you're listening on Paranormal Soup, the Talkstream Live Paranormal Radio app, or Paranormal Soup 24-hour, whatever, bunch of reruns on there. This is live right now if you're listening. You can come watch, but, I try to narrate as best as possible, as I always say, on the World Wide Web of Weird. But joining me, as usual, is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Doing well, thank you.
So, yeah, it's Open Lines.
Back on that unprofessional comment, I'm thinking, how does that fall?
Yeah, somebody commented I was professional for not doing a show during Black Friday weekend that I work retail, I get it. Okay. I get it.
All right, each their own.
I don't make money doing the show. I do get help doing this show with my Patreons and YouTube channel members, and I'm very grateful for that. And I should do a lot more for you guys. I'm going to try. I know. Do or do not. There is no try. I need to do more for you guys. I know. But your support is greatly appreciated. Just sharing out the show and coming every Sunday night. Love all you guys for it. But we're hanging out tonight with you. You guys make the show. And we got a lot of weird to get to tonight. We'll go past the commercial break. We'll come back with more weird articles. But usually we start with 7. So let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, I thought we'd talk about this one. We usually always start with stories that we are ongoing or continuing. And this one we've covered in the past is about the supposed giant columns below the pyramid in Giza pyramids. Now there's another scientific study that's basically claiming to have proven what the previous one is, that there are these giant columns under the pyramids. I can believe it. I definitely believe the possibility there's something like this under the pyramids. You know, what are they for? That are we going to ever really actually prove it, though? Probably not. I know, Jason's the pessimist. For all those listening, like I said before, on the Paranormal Soup radio channel on the Talkstream Live's Paranormal Radio app, we are a live stream streaming out to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you want to come watch, I'll narrate as best as possible. All right, let's get the first article up here. Yeah, I've been listening to interviews with the guy who originally did this. We'll get his name here in a second. And it is really interesting. I think a lot was made of it without actual more verification. But these guys have done a lot of these scans, this technology they use, and other places to verify their credibility and accuracy with it. Back in March, an international team of scientists claimed to have discovered evidence of structures descending 6,000 feet beneath the Egyptian pyramids of Giza. The discovery, which was made by researchers from Scotland University of Strathclyde, you say that? And Italy's University of Pisa, involved using radar pulses to create high-resolution images of the subsurface. Describing their finds as groundbreaking, the team reportedly discovered 8 vertical cylindrical structures extending 2,100 feet beneath the ground, and even more unidentified structures descending a further 4,000 feet below that. The alleged discovery was met with an understandable amount of skepticism, with various researchers, archaeologists, and Egyptian Antiquity Ministry officials, Zawi Hawass, whatever you say his name probably, playing down the claims. Now, though, Filippo Biondi, the radar engineer, and I've watched some interviews with this guy, who developed a specific imaging method known as synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, has maintained in an interview that the 4 independent satellite operators have provided identical tomography data, leaving, according to him, little room for doubt with regard to the discovery. The pyramids are the tip of the iceberg, he said. It's just a hat to complete something that is located underneath. The substance is below. As before, however, it's going to take some serious, compelling proof to convince the archaeological community that this alleged hidden city is really there beneath the Giza pyramids. If true, it would be one of the biggest discoveries in centuries, of course. And they could, just like, is there a room under the paw of the Sphinx? Was it the right paw? Is that what Edgar Casey said? I believe it could be. I could believe that there's definitely... We won't know because, Zawi Hawass, or whatever his name is, and the rest of those that hold the keys to these things are not going to let these kind of studies and research be done. They haven't. They won't. I don't know why. Just to keep the narrative theirs. I don't know. What is this? Was it, there's so many people that have different ideas. We've had some great guests on this, on this subject. What were the pyramids for? Was it a power station? I believe it's some kind of power station. I don't know really what it was for. I think it's a lot older than the official narrative. I think most of the guests I've had on here would agree with that. All right, let's move on. Let's see what's on the next one. Bringing on to the digging up things in the buried sand. Look at that lead in there. Next up, this new study is kind of interesting. Humans can detect buried objects without directly touching them. New study finds. Let me see here. If I can get the, just not good at the transition. Humans can detect buried objects without touching them. Study finds. That's the original article title. I got the Unexplained Mysteries one to read. It's a little shorter. Most people have tried digging through the sand on the beach with their bare hands at some point in their lives, but what is surprising is just how capable we actually are at detecting something that is buried without actually being able to see it or feel it directly. Known as remote touch, the skill is typically associated with shorebirds and other beachcombing animals. In a recent study, researchers at Queen Mary University of London investigated this ability by having 12 volunteers use their hands to determine if a small cube was buried in a container of sand. By moving their fingers through the grains, they were able to tell that the cube was in there by sensing the tiny displacements in the sand around it. The researchers also compared their accuracy with a robotic device and found that the human volunteers were 70.7% accurate, while the robots were only 40% accurate. It is the first time that remote touch has been studied in humans, and it changes our conception of perceptual world, what is called receptive field, in living beings, including humans, said the study's co-author Elizabeta Versace. While our ability to find buried objects with our hands isn't particularly useful in most situations, the researchers have been looking at ways of using this study of findings to create more advanced robots with skills beyond what even our own hands can achieve. Of course, robots. These insights could inform the development of advanced robots capable of detecting operations, for example, looking at archaeological artifacts without damage or exploring sandy or granular terrain such as the Martian soil or ocean floors. I think it's just that people have a sixth sense, so you're not going to put that in a robot. And they're saying it's, our subconscious, whatever, detecting the minute changes in the sand to be able to feel the cube in there or whatever. And it is. I mean, I'm sure in some senses, is something we have in our, going back to our, primitive human days. It's like in our DNA, this ability. All right, moving on. And next up, another story we haven't talked about in a long time is Flight MH370. I still wonder about there's this one guy who has like a whole channel thing dedicated to it. There's done a lot of research on it. It has the whole video where you see the orbs flying around it. And swears that's not CGI. I don't know. And that it was taken in some kind of portal. I don't know. I really don't know. But we now have a Texas-based firm, Ocean Infinity, will send swarms of autonomous underwater vehicles into the southern... Oh, I got to get the picture up, sorry. To the southern Indian Ocean in a high-risk attempt to locate the missing jets. Let me get the image up here. There we go. Malaysia is starting its search for the missing Malaysia Air Flight MH370. The nation is sending ships and robots into one of the planet's loneliest stretches of the ocean in hope of solving one of the aviation's most haunting mysteries. The Boeing 777 plane vanished in 2014 with 239 people on board. Starting on December 30th, the Texas-based seabed mapping from Ocean Infinity will spend 55 days sweeping 15,000 square kilometers. That's a lot of area under the ocean. Swaths of the southern Indian Ocean, investigators believe, would hold the jet's wreckage. And it's a high-stakes mission. The no-fine, no-fee deal means Malaysia could pay Ocean Infinity up to $70 million, but only if the firm produces substantive wreckage. Officials are keeping the precise target zone a secret, yet says it's based on satellite handshake tracking, I don't know what that is, data, and painstaking reconstructions of how dozens of debris fragments might have drifted across the Indian Ocean before they washed on shore. But if it was taken by some kind of portal into another dimension, you're not going to find anything. But this is a way to do it. I mean, maybe they'll find aliens before they find this plane. Because, that's where I think the aliens are, in the ocean. And on the moon.
Weren't they starting a project looking for Amelia's plane?
Never got.
Also,
Yeah,
and
we
then
talked about that, and that got
delayed.
delayed. It's delayed right now.
Yeah, they delayed it.
Yeah, they pretty much have satellite imagery. They think they shows where the plane is, but they can't confirm it. It's only going to show so much on satellite, so they have to travel there. And the paperwork and permissions that they need has basically been put on hold.
There's been a lot of going out and really trying to close the book on a lot of these mysteries and find a lot of these things.
All will be revealed in the end times. I don't know. Is that it? All secrets revealed. Well, sure as hell I haven't gotten the Epstein list.
Discoveries.
All right, this next up. Fungus in Chernobyl. Yes, I know. I got all the articles tonight. I didn't have to exclude anything. I basically took everything I go through and made the World Wide Web weird because it's extended tonight. We got more than this. I know. It's like you can talk about fungus in Chernobyl. I don't know. I find this interesting. Look at this. Chernobyl fungus appears to have evolved an incredible ability. On April 26, 1986, catastrophic accident befell number 4 reactor Chernobyl nuclear power plant in northern Ukraine. You know, we all should know the Chernobyl story. You know, I'm not going to read the whole article. But what's cool is that there's a theory of radiosynthesis, but they don't know if it's never been proven, but this might prove it, where they can actually take from the radio. Well, I'm not a science geek, but the radiocarbon breakdown, basically, in that the energy that's released, that these fungus are actually able to synthesize it, like plants would synthesize heat, UV rays. You know,
they can
it's
play
able to
synthesize things.
So it's literally growing off the radiation. It's like a black mold growing off the radiation.
There's a fungus right now they're saying that can eat like through plastics and stuff. One that, the one that eats through radiation. And then the fungus that is a trip, they can hook up wires and all sorts of stuff to it, and they actually play.
Oh, the music things are cool.
Yeah. Like mushrooms are a trip.
Yeah, I mean, they say all these things sing, I always wondered, it'd be cool to hook up, like, this is my mushroom band.
Really?
How do you have to be for that, right?
People probably want to see that. I would.
I've heard it. Like
I've seen those YouTube videos on it.
It must be real, right? No, it is. They do have it.
It is cool. Real.
All right, where are we at? I'm looking for lost where I'm at. Okay, we got some UFO beam footage. Let's go ahead and get that. So that's going to be video file. We got curious UFO filmed over Colombian City. I got the article from. Let's see. I'm gonna have to mute this too, I think, because I didn't cut the audio. Yeah. Mute. We don't want your music. All right, I'll pause it for a second here. Multiple people in Colombia, capital city of Bogota, have been left scratching their hands over the recurring appearance of a curious-looking UFO spotted hovering in the night sky. According to a local media report, the remarkable sighting began at the start of the week when some residents had first noticed the unusual illumination overhead. Since that time, several witnesses also observed the anomaly, and the Colombian social media has been flooded with footage of the particular UFO that has been captivated in the city. In one particular compelling video of the oddity, it resembles a set of approximately 5 illuminated vertical lines with a glowing ring around the puzzling cluster. As one might imagine, the unfolding situation sparked considerable speculation among Bogota residents. While some have theorized that the bizarre UFO is otherworldly in nature, more skeptical observers posit that the UFO may be a drone of some kind. Of course, that's always going to be. Is it drone? Hologram? I don't know. Take your pick. Or UFO. I don't want to play the audio from it. They do have parts where they're talking about it, but
or AI.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird with the lights, and it's hard to tell. Of course, it's the grainiest, stupidest, blurriest footage. Here's another guy's video, and this guy's talking about it in the video, but I don't know if I can hit the.
That's
So there's numerous people that filmed this.
Going on. Was that construction going on?
Yeah, there's numerous videos of this anomaly above Bogota. That's just a couple of them. There's numerous videos out there of this supposedly, and so obviously it's not the hologram or CGI or whatever. Well, it could be hologram, but it's or it's a UFO. Moving on. More UFO beam footage here. Yes, Article 6. And dang it, more of that crappy music. We got another triangle UFO. This one's pretty good, actually. Fantastic video from Mexico provides remarkably clear glimpses of a triangle UFO that appeared in the night sky. According to a local media report, witness Ikal Kahati Iktikan, I'm sorry for butchering that, Ikal. I butchered your first name too, I'm sure. Filmed the strange scene on November 29th in the city of Orizaba. In the video featured below, the witness zooms in on what initially appears to be a particular bright object overhead. A closer look in the oddity subsequently reveals that it is a set of 5 lights forming a triangular with a large illumination at the center of the craft. Typical TR3B. Here you go. Can't play the sound because they, of course, put music in it. Why do you got to put music in the video? Again, could this be a drone? Maybe it look like a TR3B, you know? Or is this, you know, the real deal? I believe the real deals exist. I believe there are real big triangle UFOs people have seen. They're not all just drones. And people are going to get video of them, but we just can't believe any of it anymore, right? I can believe it. I can believe it. It's just hard to say what's real anymore, right? AI, CGI, drones. But according to our last article before we go to commercial break, so I debated about covering this because you've heard me bitch about this so much. Sorry, they're not even cussed. I'm break my rule. UFO whistleblower claims Trump. This is David Gersh here, whistleblower. Claims Trump was fully briefed on alien hybrids living among us. Okay. Really? How briefed? I have honest trouble believing that. Gersh, who previously worked with the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, has held top-level clearance at the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenal Task Force entered the public eye back in 2023 when he made the startling claim that the U.S. government had long been in possession of intact and partially intact vehicles of non-human origin. He later appeared on the subcommittee hearing of UFOs at the U.S. House of Representatives, where citing extensive interviews of high-level intelligence officials, he maintained that non-human biologics have been found at some of these crash sites. Can you just say alien? Why do we have non-human biological blah, 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 blah? Aliens. Aliens, man! UAP. No, UFO, baby. Spaceship. Come on.
Not saying they're aliens, but...
They're aliens! I need that sound clip.
You do.
We know who David Gersh is if you've been watching the show. According to Gersh, Trump himself was fully briefed about the presence of extraterrestrial entities on Earth during his first term in office. This is also allegedly included knowledge of hybrid programs involving multiple alien species. I just don't believe it. Looking at the interviews, like people have asked him, he's like, I don't really believe in it, but there might be something to it. I don't know. Only time I saw him ever get excited or interested is when he talked to his son. When his son, Don Jr., was interviewing. And then he was like, bright-eyed, and like, yeah, kind of only time I've ever seen him interested in the topic. Now, it doesn't mean that he doesn't know something. I'm not saying he doesn't know something. And I'd love to know about his uncle. Skipping the name of that Trump, that had all the Tesla stuff. You know, after Tesla stuff. I'd love to know about that. You know, maybe Trump's got time travel like Biff or something. But I don't know. I think they learned their lesson with Nixon when he showed Jackie Gleason the alien bodies, not to tell presidents about this stuff. To keep them very limited knowledge.
Around the JFK, like those times, that was it. That's when they realized they have to control the narrative.
And even with JFK, as much as he's one of my favorite presidents, was sleeping with the same woman that was also the mistress to like Chicago's biggest mobster.
Yeah,
you know, that's a liability for people to give them information.
It's a high risk.
As much I hate saying it, I love John F. Kennedy. I honestly do, and I think our government killed him. But you have to face the facts of history. You know, and not all these guys back then were very great men, even though some of them did some great things, tried to be better men than they were.
He wasn't bred and part of the game.
Yeah, well, he came from a family. It was, but I think he had children. I think what changed. I think what it was for him and his brother and them is they had kids. They wanted to see a brighter future, and the looming threat of idiots that wanted to start a nuclear war because they thought we could win it. You know, was what woke those two up.
They couldn't control him the way they were able to control others.
But, you know, Nixon, I think the only reason he knew is because he was vice president at that time when that all went down with Eisenhower and everything. So he had the knowledge, and he was probably the last of the presidents. I honestly think so. I mean, well, except for George H.W. Bush, you know, the senior one. He knew, too. He was also probably involved in the JFK assassination. And that came out. That's just part of that. We talked about, I think, the last Sunday about that documentary. They're saying that George H.W. Bush knew. Well, yeah, I'm like, I've known that for years. I'm pretty much sure he knew. He was the one that shot down Jimmy Carter when he was director of the CIA when Jimmy Carter was president, and he tried to find out about aliens. And they came out of the meeting crying, supposedly, to the lore of the story. So, yeah, I don't think they tell presidents anymore. Maybe they've told them some things. You know, it is in the media and the news, and people are in Congress are investigating and asking. But I don't think they had, like, the whole, like, here, Mr. President, here's the alien hybrid program.
Like,
I don't think they've had that conversation.
Our UFO program.
I could see Trump just laughing, like, what? You know, I don't think he, you know, there's a lot of people, generals, I don't think, that are in the know. I mean, there's people that are just not in the know because it's in the private contractor military families. That's my thought or belief. I mean, what the heck do I know?
But... And you have to sign NDAs.
Yeah, Bush was CIA before becoming president. He was CIA when he wasn't supposed to be CIA. He was CIA when he was starting Zapata Oil. That was the CIA gave him money to start that oil company and basically start it up so he can have oil rigs out by Cuba and they could train, you know, Cuban revolutionaries. And then later trained Operation 40 at a thing called Scorpio that later went and killed Kennedy. Yeah, history that they don't teach you because nobody knows. That's it for right now, the World Wide Web of Weird. It is open lines and extended World Wide Web of Weird. So we got more weird stories, and you can call in and tell us your weird stories tonight if you want to join the discussion. Like I said, probably a shorter show tonight. But we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
You were brought here for one purpose, necromancy.
A ceremony dating back to the pre-Christian era. It's the art of reviving the dead. It requires involvement with evil spirits by the person performing the act.
The devil god brings life to the dead.
No, please. No, please.
And death to the living. Necromancy. Starring Orson Welles and Pamela Franklin. From Cinerama releasing. In color, rated PG, parental guidance suggested.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDeath.net.
He is conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Hello, I am Fernando Martinez. I think by now you know I am an emotional kind of guy. People stop me in the street and say, Fernando, what the hell is wrong with me? Silk shirt, hairy chest, enough aftershave to drown a household pet, but I still cannot get a woman. I tell them you are an ignorant fool. Without a symbol of power and fertility around your neck, what kind of woman is going to respect you? That is why I have teamed up with Medallion Man, the shop for medallion needs. Medallion Man caters to all levels of masculinity. For the strong, silent type, a medallion the size of a hubcap will say everything that needs to be said. Even singing medallions for the Casanova, who knows music is the food of love. Model trains, dollhouses, diapers, whatever your interest, we've got the medallion for you. Don't forget, every woman knows if you can't support a medallion, you can't support a family.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe. 5 by 5.
Tonight on the Paranormal Soup, it is open lines and World Wide Web of Weird. Let me get the phone lines open for you guys now. I don't know how late we're going to go, so let me make sure they're open now. We'll continue doing stories. We'll see if we'll get through them all and see who wants to call in and join the discussion. You have a weird paranormal experience you want to talk about tonight? Open lines nights are a great time to do it. Not so great when I got a guest on and your story doesn't relate to what they're talking about. So if this is one of those nights, call in now. You got a lot of these opportunities if you can't do it tonight, though. No rush. Because I don't have any guests until January 18th. Unless anything changes before then, I get some, hopefully somebody booked. I hope. I've been picky. I can't help it. You know, I want to bring on interesting people and have interesting conversations about the weird, strange, and unusual. And I'll admit, I've had some guests that it wasn't as interesting, maybe. I don't know. So I've been really trying to search to find, you know, good quality guests, people with weird, paranormal, strange experiences, just pure on that, you know, just talking about their experiences. And I do enjoy having guests with certain that are, you know, they're trying to sell a book. I get that. But some of them are really interesting, and I buy their books. So I'm just trying to be a little more picky. And if that means we have more open lines like that, then we do. You guys make the show tonight, so let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. Can't even hit the buttons right. Dang. All right. Where were we? All right. We were on the David Gersh thing. Honestly, I don't know, Jamie. What do you think? We finish off that. Do you think they told the president? Do you think he's been told there's an alien hybrid program? Something that deep of the rabbit hole?
I don't think it's to the extent we would want it to be. If anything, it's probably basically nothing.
Yeah, I just don't think they trust presidents with this.
They don't need to.
They're all bought and paid for by other people that are outside this country. I honestly, I think that the secret's within the families.
The illusion of freedom and choice to the American citizens. We think we have choice. We think we have, you know, these.
They're just the polished turd out of all the richer turds that they put up there as the puppet to represent them.
Left,
any
right,
one of them, all of them.
Yeah,
and they're not gonna. Yeah, they're just the puppet. I don't think they're telling them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But you know, I mean, some presidents know because of the, you know, like George Bush was CIA. You know.
I think that was the last time they really disclosed anything, and that's why they shut him up. One of the reasons.
Wrong one. Oh, image file. There we go. Where am I at? Here we go. All right. Physicists propose radical new theory of consciousness, and it could finally explain what happens when you die. So let me tell you, let you hear some of this and tell me if you think this is what you think consciousness is. Exactly how consciousness works has long remained one of the biggest philosophical and scientific problems of our time. Does consciousness arise purely from the brain, or do we possess some form of a soul that persists on some level after we die? Now, according to the Uppsala University nanotechnology expert Professor Maria Strom, the answer could be that consciousness is an ever-present and fundamental building block of the universe, something from which each of us is emerged and to which we also one day return. You know, the consciousness field theory, basically. She maintains that the separation of individual consciousness may simply be an illusion. In the model, individual consciousness is understood as a localized excitation or configuration within the universal consciousness field, much like a wave on the surface of an ocean, she told Mail Online. A wave is a form that is temporary, but the water that carries it does not vanish when the wave subsides. The fundamental substrate of awareness does not begin or end with the body, just as the ocean does not begin or end with the appearance of the single wave. I've heard this in philosophical, theological, you know, a lot of pot night talking, you know, on consciousness, late nights of coffee. This idea, like, she's not the first to come up with this idea. I'm sorry. She just has a degree behind her name, I guess. An individual awareness is not generated only by the brain, but is an expression of a deeper field, as my model suggests, in the moments when the brain is impaired could allow atypical access to the underlying field. So you have to be, your brain has to be impaired to do psychic things. This would explain why telepathy-like phenomena appear across cultures and throughout history, even though the empirical evidence so far is controversial and not yet conclusive, because they can't scientifically
like on proof?
They can't scientifically prove telepathy exists, is what she's saying.
When they're
I don't think
saying
they've tried really
impaired,
hard.
Is the impaired like when they give them the micro dosing of like the mushrooms and the things to help open their
Oh, I
mind?
don't know about that. I don't know. Open your mind, Quay.
Open
No,
your
sorry.
mind.
Open your mind. No. This is along the lines I believe. I tell you guys, I believe in a higher power, God, the Force. I don't see it as like an entity, as is your typical idea of God. You know, I don't believe in Yahweh. I'm sorry, it's not my belief. And you know what I hear? Jamie, you're gonna have to carry the show. You tell people what you think consciousness is. You hear the ticking? God dang it! I just replaced this battery. I think it's the cold down here. The battery's going on this thing, so I'm gonna have to step away for a second because my mic's gonna go out. So, Jamie, I'm gonna put it on you. Read the chat. Talk to the audience. It's on you. I'll be right back.
Well, I was just reading something recently where they say there's 3 different stages when we die. I haven't actually looked into that to see what the 3rd stage is that they've come up with. I think I'm freezing. Did any of you see that? Let's see. Experts discovered 3rd process when we die.
All right. So sorry about that.
All right, no problem.
You know, and I play that battery ad on my show for a reason, the Duracell thing, because I always say I should be advertising for some one of these battery companies for how many I frickin' use.
It was
and it didn't have Duracells in it.
The 3rd state between life and death, something that scientists discovered back in June.
What was it?
3rd state between life and death. The 3rd state suggests that organismal death may play a significant role in how life transforms over time.
I mean, I think we're eternal. Whatever is fueling our bodies, moving us, perceiving us to be identities and consciousness, whatever it is we come from, I think is this unified field. We all belong to it. I think the ocean
like a blob
description is
of like energy that we're parts of.
I think the ocean description they give here has been given in a lot of different examples of it. I've used that ocean example. I think is a relatively good one for what I think it is like too. That we are like the ripples on the ocean wave. We're all part of it. Eventually, we go back into it. What is individual identity? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? I don't know. The answer is 42. I don't know.
It's always 42. We're stardust. We're, the hydrogen, everything the universe is made out of, our bodies are made out of.
Well, but I really do think there's something to the soul that, all consciousness is connected.
Yeah, consciousness is different. That's why I chirp when they talk about wanting to somehow take that out of people and put that into these hybrid, like, clones and things. It's like, okay, well,
or
what
like into a machine, or like Upload, the TV show I've talked about.
Into it. Is this
right,
really the person?
Well, like I said, that Upload TV show I watch, I loved it, but at the same time, the whole time I'm like, they're just some AI copy. They're not the person. They're not their soul. They don't have that ability.
Even with some sort of artificial consciousness, it's still not what the real.
Oh, it's doing that whole missed call again. Whoever just called, try calling back.
Might be a Zariana.
It's a different number than I'm used to, I think. I'm looking down the list of numbers that usually call in. I don't see this one usually.
Like the power of free will gets all messed up.
See, it's putting them in voice. I can see they're in voicemail right now. I wish it just it gives me one little quick thing. I try to hit the pick up the call and it takes it away. I gotta leave the app open, I think. All right. Well, whoever just tried calling, try calling. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. I'm gonna try to catch it. Sometimes it takes a little warm up on this thing. There we go. Somebody else is calling in though. I don't think it's the same person.
That's true, Heather. That's why there was a serial killer.
Who do we got on the line?
Oh, it's Mike. Hi.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah. I think I was looking at my email and I had a picture I took in the cemetery, and it was a silhouette sort of a person, a woman, I think, and it was I thought I sent it to you, jbland, but you know what? I don't even have I don't know how, because I didn't have your email. Maybe it's at Paranormal Soup or something, but maybe you could go in the chat room and put your email or something.
It's in the show description too. It's paranormalsoup jbland@gmail.com.
Yeah, I was looking on YouTube, right? You mean the description?
Yeah, it should be in there. Usually put the.
Oh, okay. I'll check again.
Yeah, Paranormal
so
Soup.
Maybe I'll try to.
It's Paranormal Soup, the letter J, and then my last name bland@gmail.com.
Okay. I could.
Paranormal Soup jbland@gmail.com.
Yeah, all right. I could try to. I got to get the picture
I don't have that
again. I actually kept it here, so that's significant. I wouldn't.
So what's the picture? What's the deal?
Well, it actually it may have been the tree, but you would see not a collage, but a formation. If you if you're open to the idea that they're pretty, they could use things in the environment to communicate. I got into
Mike.
Yeah.
I am open to that idea, but when it comes to photos, I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of times, I have to side on the air of what we do know the human brain does, which is pareidolia. Not always. I don't believe that explains everything at all. A lot of people will jump to the pareidolia explanation. I won't, but I say more often than not that is the case. As a lot of times is brain taking patterns and making an image of it.
To do with it.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's what I haven't even seen your photo. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. That's what I usually see a lot of times when people have given me photos or along what you're just starting to describe to me. if you're seeing kind of a face, sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. I actually I I got one in here tonight. I was actually going to ask, is this pareidolia, CGI, or whatever, a ghost thing tonight? And more wouldn't be pareidolia as much as it would be like pareidolia with light refraction going on or something, or CGI, I don't know. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that the brain can do to make you look at something and make you see a face.
Yeah, I agree. You know, the most time-consuming research, if you could say, was water ITC. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little. Yeah, that was always fascinating for me. And then you use that free download that I'm blanking out my mind to it. That you can
years ago,
free.
I was convinced of water ITC from a friend of ours, Lisa, we had on the show. She did a water ITC, and she had asked me to picture my happiest moment in my life. And I swear to God, the water ITC she got was me sitting in the hospital holding my son. There's a picture of it, and I compared it on the show. This is years ago. But, like, she nailed it. And I've seen other people that do it, and it's incredible. There's something to it. I agree.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
So that's like our consciousness and our intention, and then other outworldly, like you. What was that name you just said earlier? You said something. They were talking about consciousness. The stuff you already heard before, but I can't think of the word. Not collective consciousness or nothing, but
universal consciousness.
The way you believe instead of God, something else.
I believe in the force. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe that can affect the not just our consciousness and intention. Intention is amazing. I don't know how much you know about that, but that could be the case with that particular instance that you were just speaking about. You're sitting there in the hospital with your son. That's interesting. And you know, here's another interesting thing: is everything recorded? Like that instance of you with your son is out there in time and space, and it's recorded. And it still exists.
Is it recorded, or is it just because time's an illusion and it's always there? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as much as the future's always there in the present, that it's all illusion. Time is an illusion.
Yeah. You think that has anything to do with people who have seen their whole life before their eyes in a matter of moments, like
near-death experience?
Near-death experience, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like everything's like recorded, you know. I mean, and then you think about microprocessors and hard drives and stuff like this technology. Like our minds are much more complex than everything else, and then consciousness is too, and we don't understand it. But yet, it may have as on earth as is in heaven. You know, these potentialities. You know what I mean? Of recording. Yeah. What do you think about all that?
Our dreams and memories are supposed to be like recordings on cards, like at a library. Everything's on a different card in a file cabinet. Your brain is constantly rearranging these cards. So I think we could have all these things stamped in us.
Nothing's destroyed. Everything is just changed and reused. So in some sense, it's there.
Yeah, and then remember the energy thing? Energy is never destroyed. It's transferred, correct?
Right.
Exactly.
So
isn't that interesting? How do you wrap your head around that? It's like
some people don't, and that's what we were talking about last week with the palmistry guys. Like, why didn't you think about these deep things, people? And then I realized, like I said, adulting in life gets in a lot of the way for people thinking about these
as
things.
a kid playing with the mercury thermometer, and it would fall apart and then like come back together. That's just the way I kind of visualize it.
But you know, whatever.
Yeah. But you know, energy can't be created, but yet you created your son with your wife through intercourse. You know.
Well, yeah, it's amazing biology and what life can come from. You know, and multiply, and life finds a way.
So, how do you think about creation?
But I think
you did create
something.
I think that,
but what I've always thought about it.
But it can't be. Energy can't be created or destroyed. So, how did you do that?
Well, we're not going to get into the details of that, but you tell me, how did I do it?
And so it wasn't new energy, it was taken from them and put together to make.
Yeah, I don't know if we have to get a biology class on this, but like if it's you're talking about
you know the spark when the sperm and the egg come together, the spark. There's an electrical
yeah, they've actually documented
where does that come? Yeah, that's the creative aspect, right?
Everything's energy, everything's light.
And what about cosmically galaxies out of nothing? Things created out of nothing.
I go back. What I've always, Mike, thought about it is when we were talking about like consciousness with this article tonight, is that look what consciousness does under extreme conditions sometimes. Like I always use Sybil as a case, so the person who had multiple personalities, or other people that have attained, had this happen when their psyche was fractured. Why? Because they were isolated. They were tortured, yes, but they were isolated with no sound or light for long periods of time. And these people's psyche breaks down. What does it do? It doesn't, just fracture. It fractures into new forms of consciousness, new personalities.
Wow.
A multiple personality. It doesn't want to be alone. Becomes one, becomes two. And I think that's the nature of consciousness and reality, is not the ultimate essence of, I don't want to be alone. Let's make a friend.
I had a 50
like a child makes an imaginary friend.
A 50-gallon saltwater tank. It was warm water, cured live rock. All you did was dump these additives in the water, almost like little sea monkeys. You'd see these little particles and stuff in it. It would settle in the live rock, and eventually you would get these feather dusters coming up, little sponges, little clams, and all these little tiny lives were getting created by these different additives being mixed together, in a certain flow in the water and everything. And it was like kind of a look at how different life can be formed just by the stuff floating around in there.
Well, Mike, thank you for calling in, bud.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for speaking. I'll look for that, and I'll send it to you anyway. So
yeah. Paranormalsoup, jbland@gmail.com.
And then if I get anything else going forward, right?
Yeah, it's my email.
So,
send it there.
Okay. Okay. See you, Jamie. Nice speaking to you.
Have a great night, Mike.
Okay. All right.
All right. I saw Flip was trying to call in. Lines are back open, Flip, if you're trying to call. I could try calling him, but I'll see if Flippy can call in. All right. Let's see. Let's move this one down.
But that was watching life from nothing. That little starfish and things.
All right,
that was incredible to see.
Where was I? Oh, here we go. And then sometimes we don't want, this is the time when you wouldn't want to think about having, consciousness after death, or, if you're still alive. For this poor lady, we got another one of these stories. Always got to have one of these once a year or two. Thai woman found alive in coffin before temple cremation. Woman wakes up in coffin just before she was due to be cremated. In a scenario that can only be described as the most people's worst nightmare, 65-year-old woman who had been presumed dead had been taken in a coffin to Wat Rat Park Hong. All right, I'm going to try calling Flip. I'm going to try calling him while I read this.
Or is it Drake?
Let me see. You there, Flip?
Yeah, what's up, Jason and Jamie? Miss you guys.
What's up? Hang on there a second. I'm gonna read this article. Can you hang on a minute? I'm almost.
Yeah, I can hang on.
Just hang on a minute. I just want to make sure I had you. All right, hold on. All right, so we'll get this really quick. We'll keep him on the line for a second. Yeah. Story goes, the woman was bedridden for 2 years, and her health had recently rapidly deteriorated to the point where she had seemingly stopped breathing for 2 days. Assuming that she had died, her brother attempted to take her to the hospital in Bangkok to donate her organs, but was refused permission due to because he didn't have a death certificate for her. He then took her to the temple because it offered free cremations, but was again rejected. This is why we have rules and regulations about what you do with the body. Her brother is failing. Here, I'm sorry. It was reportedly while he was discussing the issue with staff that the woman started knocking on the inside of her coffin. I was a bit surprised, so I asked him to open the coffin. Everyone was startled. The temple's general and financial affairs manager, Parich Sudtup, told the Associated Press. I saw her opening her eyes slightly and knocking on the side of the coffin. She must have been knocking. Do you wonder if her brother was trying to take her out? No, you cremate her. She dead. She dead. Man, she'd be catatonic for like 2 years. Huh?
Did you see the video?
No, I haven't.
She's video? Like in the bottom of this thing. It wasn't even. It didn't look all padded and lace filled. She's in like this silky whatever gown, just kind of like rolling around the bottom of this coffin, like writhing around, like. Dude, what the hell?
But like I'm saying, was her brother like trying to get rid of her? Is what I was wondering.
I don't know.
She did. You just cremate her now. Hurry, do it. I don't know. All right, let's get to the phone line. We got Flip on the line. How you doing tonight, Flip?
What's up, guys? I missed you guys. It's been forever since I heard you guys' voice.
Yeah, it's been a while. How you been?
Pretty good. I was listening to the last article you had on there, and my near-death experience has, because of you guys, and the ability to watch the show has developed my third eye and my spirituality even more and understanding. And with my near-death experience, it's got me to this point in my life now with the tunnel vision theory of when you die. I had a tunnel vision, and I've always been curious about this because I'm married now at 39 years old. My wife was in my tunnel vision, and that's one thing I'm trying to wrap my hand on. And now my spiritual gift is on fire, and locking it in and understanding it and having an ability to control it now is insane, and it makes me cry because I'm understanding that I'm no longer scared of it. I'm able to control it again. Sometimes I can't. Now with some of the training I'm getting with through religion and spirituality of mine, but I'm working on. It's changed my life, and I feel at ease and peace. But sometimes I get angry and step my foot in my mouth sometimes with people because I'm so anxious to tell them about other things, and sometimes I can't slow down, but doing great.
You got to ground yourself.
So when you guys,
that's the main thing is ground yourself.
I do fasting. I work on that, and I stick to my spirituality, and it's been grounding me and opening up that third eye and realizing what I'm supposed to do on Earth until the day I die. And it makes sense now why I've seen all that tunnel vision, because it's been warning me about other things. And then maybe sometimes when you see that you get your near-death experience, you're wondering about that deja vu experience, and it's like, okay, so that deja vu, I need to change something before the next change event. And I'm trying to explain to my wife about that stuff, and she's seen firsthand today about some of the battles I've been fighting demonically. Like seeing something that I haven't seen since 8th grade, and it broke me down today. And it put me into my near-death experience, and it's been tormenting me for the past year now, and I think I finally beat it today.
Well, that's good.
And I'm not hearing these negative voices. I'm not hearing stuff telling me to put me down. Like, my ears turn red when I start hearing these voices.
Well, this is why, Tyler, this is why I was saying stay grounded, though, too, because when you get into these realms and you get into these things, you have to find periods of time. You have to step away from it, too. It can be too much. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah, and I'm tired. I'm trying to beat this thing. It's just destroying my life, putting me back into the dark spot. And when I seen with my third eye, we were using a spirit box, Jason, and it popped out the demon's name, and I thought about it. And then when I was walking out into our bedroom from the bathroom, I heard, "Hey, Hazel." I'm like, okay, I know I'm not schizophrenic, but they tried to put me on pills. And then I remember back in the day, when we had these abilities, you either got crucified or they burnt you at the stake because, oh man, this guy knows subconscious connecting with stuff that normal people can't hear. And now they try to put us on pills for it to block it. And I'm somebody that needs to learn how to ground myself so when it's time to battle this stuff for other people, I can banish it, take care of myself better. And when it did that, hey, Hazel, I'm like, I asked my wife, because that's her last name.
Yeah.
Was her last name. And I was like, did you say something? And this is the first time I ever heard something like that. Yeah. And when I went back to the closet, I saw this thing, and I was cursing it this morning. I was casting it out, man, and praying. I said, I'm not having this in my life anymore.
What did you see? What did you see?
Yes, sir.
What was it that you saw?
So I saw it was almost like a bat with long, weird-looking fingers, and it was like maybe 3-4 feet. And I haven't seen this thing in
you said you were
years,
a kid.
man.
You said you were a kid when you last really saw this stuff. Was that what you said? You were a kid?
Yeah, and then I went to some religious people, and they got it out of me for a while. But then it started coming back at me really hard because I tried to commit suicide again.
Yeah.
And I think I opened that demonic energy to come back in my life.
You can.
And I'm like, I'm done with it. And my wife was, sorry, baby. My wife was talking negative and wanted to hurt herself. I'm like, nope. It was calling for her. And I'm like, you're not taking my life. You're not taking my life anymore. I'm done with this, man. And it broke me and enough to go to spirituality again. And all this stuff was like the rosary, you take it. I learned to take it. It's a tool. And it's not something you worship. It's something you use.
Is your family background?
You develop your third eye.
Flip. Is your family background Catholic?
Lutheran, actually.
Lutheran?
Yeah, and my family's Lutheran or Catholic, but I remember back in the day, they were just trying to dislodge all this stuff as relics and stuff when they're actually spiritual warfare tools that we can use with our subconscious mind if we need to get the stuff out of things that we see. And like I said, my ears were turning red. I was hearing all these negative voices, so immediately I went to some water because in the Bible it's all parables, and I know a lot of people don't understand Christianity and all that stuff because we're not Christ, and it's actually a manual to teach us to fight spiritual warfare for when it's time for people that can use some subconscious mind. Go to some spirituality, whether you're Buddhist, you're into Hinduism or Christianity, go to it. Learn the manuscript, and you'll learn how to battle this stuff and get it out of your life so you're not feeling this way. It may come back. It may come back stronger, but you'll have the tools and knowledge once you start developing.
I think the biggest thing,
watching stuff like this and gather research and stuff.
Flip, I think the biggest thing you're discovering, though, you need to build your relationship.
My ears turn white.
You need to build your relationship with God, what people call God, or the higher power. You know what I'm saying? Is build that connection with something positive. Get away from that.
Yeah,
don't do the spirit.
I mean, when I did that today, I went up.
It's something where it's just you.
Oh, sorry, I got my other phone going.
It's all right. I was just saying, don't do the spirit box. I think that's a bad idea in your situation.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, my wife was
with it.
My wife was messing with it, and the demonic name came on it, and I was like, wait a minute. Then a couple hours later, I heard, "Hey, Hazel," like I said. And then I start having all these negative thoughts getting worse and worse and worse. My ears are turning red. So I used, I never tried this before. And I went and prayed. And by the way, I don't want to talk about this, but I couldn't talk till I was 12 years old. My mom and let me go with my grandmother to a revival, and they were praying over me. Next thing you know, I was speaking a language I never spoke before, and
Speaking in tongues.
I haven't stopped talking since. And I was told I was never ever going to be speaking. I was never going to be able to.
This is what I'm getting.
Develop anywhere in life.
Really quick, Flip. Really quick. This is what my inner voice is telling me. Because somebody's telling me to tell me you to go back to your roots.
Like my Lutheran roots, or
whatever it was, something in your spiritual roots, and maybe it's that. Whatever, investigate that experience you had as a child.
I committed suicide when I was a kid, and that's what brought this back, because I tried doing it again a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately,
I want you to look into your spiritual roots. This thing that happened to you when you were a kid and you started speaking in tongues. You hadn't spoken. You were 12. That's a severe thing, Flip. And there's a lot you need to explore within yourself deeply. But be careful. Ground yourself, and don't look for it can be easily fooled by things in this.
How do I ground myself? How do I ground myself, with water or spirituality?
For me,
I fast.
Fasting's not a bad idea, but do it healthily. Eating better is good. Eating the good, pure, good whole foods that aren't bad for you are great. But meditation and just not trying to do anything with your psychic abilities or anything like that. Just quieting of the mind, relaxing, taking yourself. Do the energy. Do the visualizations where you up your energy field, if anything. But build that connection. It's building that connection with that smaller voice inside of you. That's the power you have. And you want.
I'm developing that, sir, brother. It's like, and then today I've been walking past the same building that's been empty for a long time. It's an old Baptist church, and I come to find out it's been foreclosed and it's down. And I'm gonna go look at purchasing and turn it into a healing hospital. I'm not even gonna make a church. I'm making a hospital for sick people, so that way I can start training these people that all these churches are like, hey, you can't be using all Catholic rosary to get rid of your voices out of your head. I made it work today.
Well,
I feel great.
Keep working on.
My ears are white now; they're not red.
That's good, Flip. Keep your focus, and like I said, to build that relationship with what you believe. Your spiritual roots are. God, or for me, it's God's the force. Wherever it is, find that center. Find a place you can like a pull to hold on to, and I think that's God, the force, whatever that inner peace. That's what you got to work towards. Don't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, don't get sucked into the
we right. Ghost box sessions. I can't do that right now. I'm not. After that going on, I told my wife we need to take a break from that right now.
Just find your inner peace.
I am super
work on you and your inner peace, Flip. That's what you need to do.
And your
That's what I'm saying.
Connection with your higher power, with the universe. Pay attention to the messages around you, and just come and make things right. And
you don't have to change. You don't have to change the world, Flip. You got to just change yourself.
I'm excited. I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just trying to understand with the brain that I had damaged, that like the last article, the subconscious mind being damaged. I was told all this stuff, and all of a sudden I got 2 degrees. I'm understanding my subconscious mind better than I have in my entire life, because all I did was research it, and I found this show, and you guys had mediums on giving me insight, and a lot of it has come true. And
like I said, I want your homework project for me is go back to your roots. Go back to your roots. Go back to this incident that happened when you were, when you didn't speak till you're 12. Why? I think there's things you need to look in more too.
And follow the signs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was born with a biblical cord wrapped around my neck, so my vocal cords were damaged.
Yeah.
But I had low oxygen in my brain.
What you had was a miracle event that happened where you started talking, And you spoke in tongues. I had friends that were part of that was their Christian faith was speaking in tongues, and I was really always interested in their faith.
I can do that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I can do it.
So I want you. I want you
speak.
to explore this faith, this line, or whatever. I want you to explore this experience and dig deep, and but but at the same time, don't let yourself be caught off in grandiose ideas or either. Keep yourself centered. What your focus should be focused on is having inner peace. Inner peace, connection with God.
I want that inner peace, man. I'm so tired of going to sleep, dreaming all this negative stuff, put in my head, and I take it out on my wife, for example, and she doesn't deserve that. Because I finally found somebody that unconditionally loves me, and I thought we were not yoked together, we're entwined, and I have been proved wrong. Women are always right. She's perfect for me, and I'm so happy to finally have my counterpart.
But yeah, just keep
What's that, man?
Keep that focus, and do it for her and do it for yourself. Keep looking to try to build this relationship with God is what I believe. All right, Flip, you have a great night, man.
Amen, brother. I love you guys. Missed you. Have a good night.
You too, bud. All right. Phone lines are still open. You want to call in? I don't know how much later we'll go tonight. I do have a lot more articles. We'll see how late we'll go. I do have to drive my kids to school tomorrow. Yay. All right. So we did The Woman Wakes Up in Coffin. Oh, here we go. Did you see? I don't know if you guys. I didn't get to watch any Weird Wednesdays lately. I didn't have to get up every Thursday morning. For kids in school, cannot wait for Christmas break. I don't know if you guys had this one. Where did it go? Which one am I on? Oh, shoot. Yeah, this one. Eagle drops cat through windshield.
Oh, no. I saw this. I didn't want to read it.
I just didn't know. Shocked U.S. driver calls 911. I just had a bald eagle drop a cat through my windshield. Woman whose name has not been disclosed had been driving along U.S. Route 74 near Bryson City when there was a sudden loud noise and the passenger side of her windshield caved in. In total shock, she pulled over and tried to determine what had just happened. Her call to 911 dispatch conveyed the fear and surprise of the incident. You may not believe me, but I just had a bald eagle drop a cat through my windshield, she said. It's absolutely shattered my windshield. The dispatcher seemed a little uncertain about the sincerity of the call at first, but noted that they had heard crazier stories from callers. When they asked the woman if the cat itself was still alive, she replied that the animal was dead and that it was now lying on the side of the road and not inside her car. The dispatcher asked, okay, I have to just make sure. It seems as though the eagle must have been carrying the carcass of the dead cat when just as it was passing overhead, it lost its grip and dropped the creature remains right on top of the car. What bad luck. I mean, that's just the odds of that happening to somebody. And poor cat, man. When the eagle taking a cat, watch your cats out there if you got a bald eagle. They just spotted a bald eagle not far from here, too. Actually, I was surprised. Where was that? And I'm in Michigan City, Indiana. I don't know if it was in the state. They had spotted a bald eagle, so we even have them around here. So they can take your cats? Damn. I mean, they're big birds. Take your little dog or take your cat and then drop them through your windshield? Oh, how's their insurance coverage going to be on that one? Or insurance claim? And how did she know it was a bald eagle? I guess she must have just looked up, saw it flying. All right, let's move on. Oh, this is the ghost one I was talking about. I'll get your guys' thoughts on this. I don't know about this one.
Say real quick, I have heard of that happening. I was looking at that, and it looks kind of realistic from the way, it broke the glass inward, but I couldn't tell if it was AR or not. But I've heard a lot around here of like...
It's a real story. It happened.
And stuffs. Dropping rabbits and even small dogs and things like that from the sky, because that's what they do. They pick them up and then they drop them to kill them, and they swoop down and eat it. But
you think it might have dropped it on purpose to kill it? You think it might have dropped the cat on purpose to kill the cat, then pick it back up? I
don't think it dropped it like in moving traffic, though. That's weird.
I know. All
but
right,
that's a big cat.
Guess this is the next one. This is the ghost one, I think. Yes, it is. Okay. I'm going to play this. I'll let you guys see what you think. I got Tim Binnell from Coast to Coast article on it. Spooky video from Argentina shows the moment when a worker seemingly spots a ghost sitting in a car and then investigates the vehicle only to find no one there. According to local media report, the chilling scene was filmed at a medical facility in the city of Mendoza and shared online by witness Javier Molina. In the footage featured here, we're going to show in a second, the bewildered worker explains that he and his colleague initially heard a knock at the front door, but found that there was nobody behind us. Looking in the direction of the mysterious sound, they noticed that what appeared to be the eerie face of someone sitting in the passenger side of their car parked outside. Particularly unnerving to Molina and the rest of the staff was that the weird visage seemed to be moving inside the vehicle. Determined to get to the bottom of the odd situation, the hospital worker commendably approaches the car to get a better look at the stranger. As he walks towards the vehicle, Molina marvels that he's getting goosebumps from the impromptu ghost hunt. Well, I guess this is the whole video they're explaining here, but is this some kind? Okay, so I have two things with this. The most of the video to me, I think, might be something real. Not to say real as a ghost, but like real, like something they're seeing. Could it be some kind of light refraction? Now, there's the end shot of this video does a typical TikTok, Instagram horror kind of deal, where suddenly I'll let you watch it, and then I'm gonna give it away. I should just let you watch it. And I'll let
We're
you
at
judge
the bus
it.
stop right now. We heard a crash, and we turned around because we thought, well, who's coming in? It's just that there's no one behind us, and we looked inside the car and thought, what the hell is the car? The worst thing is that it's moving inside the car and there's no one there. I mean, now we're gonna go check the car, but it's like a reflex.
You see it moving?
Holy. No, dude. We're going out fast so you can see it's not a lie. Mom, goosebumps, bro. Goosebumps.
Now you can see there's the light from the thing, and then there's the awning above it reflected in the windshield. You can see all that.
No.
But something's there moving. The very last shot of this is going to come up. I'm suspecting somebody added in their own CGI at the end of this to make it scary, is what I'm getting at. We'll see. We'll let you judge. But something really might be going on here, or it's refraction of light, maybe. He goes around, he's going to check it out. That's what I would do. The dog seems spooked. I will give him that. You see how the dog kind of is like looking? But maybe it's because he's reading his owner being spooked, you know?
It's a lot. The mother who bore you is also watching us.
It's going to be more of a zoom in here. You're going to see it a little better this time. And now it's going to see it move. Does look like, you know, is this, like I was talking about pareidolia, is this just some image that's reflecting? It looks like two little eye holes there that we're seeing a face kind of a little bit.
Wait, is that a person moving inside the car?
No.
Right, that's what they're seeing.
No.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
That's
what
a
they're
straight
seeing.
lady moving and shit.
Just wait. Just wait. This last scene, though, I really honestly think they added something in here. I honestly do. I don't know.
Why is it all boxy like that, though?
Right there. See how that comes up? All right, this is my zoom in on it.
All right, let me see this, because why is it all boxy?
Well, there's you're seeing the refraction of above that windshield it's reflecting the awning above it. That's the lines.
No, dude. No.
But this last part, watch how it looks like there's something. Last part looks like somebody added in a CGI bit to this at the very end to make it more scary.
Scare at the end.
Watch right here at the end. Tell me you don't think this is totally different than what we were just watching. Watch what it does.
He disappeared.
There. Does that look totally different? That you can clearly see it's a face. I think they added in CGI. Reflections, yeah. I think it's possibly what we're initially seeing as reflections. But I think
in a garage with the lights looking down and it's shiny enough. If he's looking over the glass, it's going to look like that with the back of the stuff behind him. Because that wasn't.
I almost feel like that last part was added in CGI crap. I don't know.
What was
scare
behind
effected in?
guy?
I don't
His
know. They don't
image.
tell us.
Was it the car or was it garage?
Well, he's inside of a building looking through 2 sets of doorway windows out to the parking area where his car is, and like I said, there's a light there shining down on top of it with what you see is the awning reflected in it, and then you see something else translucently in there moving, and then that last image when it comes up and it's like a face and this jump scare and the video ends, that part I think could have been CGI add-on, like jump scare. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right, where are we at? Oh, here we go. I was just telling somebody how much I love seafood. And this next story, I guess they like seafood in prison too.
You like fish sticks?
Stuff, that's cheap seafood. I mean, I do like Long John. I used to love when I used to eat fast food. I haven't had it in years. It would kill me as Long John Silver's. But look at this. Drone drops steak and crab legs. Surf and turf, baby. For prisoners' feast, at South Carolina, guards find it first. Guards are like, we eat good night. Prisoners like,
so many times, though, and not got caught.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's probably happening all the time. Drugs,
and
food. Yeah. They just missed the delivery of Coke 2 minutes before this.
They thought they were going to have a big old feast.
Right. Prison squashed what was likely an early Christmas party among inmates when they intercepted a veritable feast of contraband items, including steak and crab legs that had been dropped outside the facility by a drone. The remarkable recovery reportedly occurred on Sunday when a guard at the Lee Correctional Institute noticed a suspicious bag sitting in the prison yard. Upon opening the peculiar bundle, they discovered that it contained a large uncooked steak, a cluster of crab legs, a package of Old Bay seasoning. Well, they wanted the whole seafood bowl, man. Oh, heck yeah. Like Joe's Crab Shack. A bag of marijuana. Oh, there's the drugs. And 2 cartons of cigarettes. You know, you got to have the pot and the cigarettes after your big feast of crab legs and steak. Detailing the case in social media posts, South Carolina Department of Corrections mused that it seems that some of the folks planned an early holiday Old Bay crab boil and steak dinner. Damn, that sounds good. Eating better than me in prison. Who are they paying? How did they get this? I don't know. All right. Let's move on. This next guy, he might be hoping that somebody can give him some drone deliveries in jail, because that's where he's at. Florida man, too, at that. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a video. I actually did the video news article. I shouldn't, but I did. Because it's just too funny. I got to play this.
Teleported into a stolen car.
But a trail of destruction tells a much clearer story. Fox 35's Chancellor Wynn has the wild body camera video that has many people saying, only in Florida.
Deputies hear a lot of excuses when they ask people, so why'd you do it? But this is a new one.
I don't know. I teleported or something.
Where'd you get the car from?
I don't know. It's Calvin. I don't know. I teleported.
Officer, where's your fire suit? Come over here. Give me just 1 second. Yeah. Put your hands up on my car.
Yes, sir.
That's 36-year-old Calvin Johnson with the bloody face. And you heard him right. He told the deputy he teleported into a stolen car and crashed it.
Signal 20 says
Oh, my God.
he stole the car.
This started at Bicentennial Park in Ormond Beach. A man walking his dog left the keys of his BMW convertible in the car. And
All right, what dumbass leaves the keys of his BMW in the car? Yo, I'm just saying that's weird.
Deputies say a thief jumped on the opportunity. A witness describes the strange
like they always
interaction he had with the suspect.
Who'd you see get into it?
It was a guy probably maybe 30 years old. It wasn't his car?
No.
Oh, he kept asking for a light, and I was like, how in the world does he have a BMW if he doesn't have a light for a cigarette?
A few minutes later, this happens.
Look at the car. It's just gone. It's gone. Look at that. 150 miles an hour.
The stolen BMW crashes at Old Dixie Highway and Plantation Oaks Boulevard. Good Samaritans stop to help.
Cut him out of his seat. It's not his.
And then everyone learns the car is stolen.
You saved me from the aliens.
After the deputy puts out the lingering fire,
They saved him from the aliens. So that's the newest excuse. I was teleported.
I heard that right. I was grabbing my hand lotion.
He was teleported by aliens.
He says I was saved by aliens. You saved me from the aliens.
Yeah.
So
I had
that's
one where a
cool.
guy, yeah.
We'll talk now.
Then we got this guy here. Mrs. Doubtfire. That's another one. These are all the ones I like excluded, I know, from the World Wide Web.
Real life Norman Bates, man.
Italian man busted to impersonate dead mother in bizarre Mrs. Doubtfire pension scam. Italian man in trouble with the law after he was busted trying to impersonate his dead mother as part of a long-running scheme wherein he collected her pension checks for years. The bizarre, rather macabre case reportedly began in 2022 when Garzelia di Aglio passed away in the community of Borgo Virgilio. Borgo Virgilio, did you say that? Rather than report her death to authorities, the woman's unemployed son hid her body in the home and continued cashing her pension checks. Over the next 3 years, the unnamed suspect allegedly banked about $60,000 from the scam until all unraveled in a spectacular fashion earlier this month when her identification card expired. That's when he ran into trouble there. Since renewing the paper required an in-person visit to the local government office, the man came up with a rather audacious idea to impersonate her in the hopes of keeping the grit going. I don't think that's supposed to be grit. The grift, maybe. Showing commendable commitment to the caper, he styled his hair similar to his mother's, donned her clothes, jewelry, and makeup, even painted his nails to complete the look. While the ruse was remarkably meticulous, it was all for the knot as a worker at the office quickly grew suspicious of his appearance and voice when prompted to call the police. Authorities investigated the situation, quickly deduced that the woman attempting to renew her ID was in fact her son. A subsequent search of his home revealed the unfortunate fate of his mother, who had been found mummified after being hidden away for 3 years. This happens like a lot, actually. If somebody dies and they want to keep checking their social, they just put the body in the basement and let it mummify there, and they keep taking the checks.
Or the old meat freezer.
He's pretty close to her, though. I mean, he seemed like he almost could have pulled it
that
off.
That is dang close.
It's probably when he opened his mouth, they're like, "Oh, you're a dude."
Yeah.
Like, hello. You know, that's what's giving it away. Maybe he probably didn't work on the voice good enough.
There's probably 1,000 reasons why they do, but damn.
All right, I only got a couple more things, and then we're done. All right, let me see. Let me move that. Second to last, what did I have here? Oh, yeah.
You never know who you're shopping next to anymore.
FBI is fun. We've talked about this over the years of the show. Is that there's Freedom of Information Act files that people have found that the FBI's done. They did hair analysis. There's done other cases the FBI investigated involved Bigfoot. Now FBI has officially posted all this, where you can look at any of the documents involved or related to Bigfoot on their website. So you want to see the documents for you themselves. They did test hairs. They were inconclusive. You know, all that. We've talked about. We had guests on here to talk about it. But now all those files are made totally available to the public. Some transparency, but it does not prove that Bigfoot exists in any of these files. Or, the FBI had nothing conclusive to say on it, of course. But are they hiding Bigfoot? Do they know about Bigfoot? Does the government know about Bigfoot? People have wondered these things for years. You have the whole what was the mountain that blew up? Rainier? No, not Rainier. Same thing. Washington State.
Oh, Helena, not Helena.
No. I can't think of somebody in the chat room. But people thought the government had gone there and taken out secretly took Bigfoot out right before explosions. Stuff like
real. If it is for real, 100%, I believe our government knows about it.
Yeah. All right. One last thing. No article, but I saw this just before the show tonight. There will be no Tom Cruise SpaceX NASA movie. It's been canceled. According to page 6, Tom Cruise will no longer be flying to space to film his long-awaited space movie. As the project has similarly been scrapped following issues of obtaining permission. The report claims that Tom Cruise did not want to ask Donald Trump for a favor, as he would need to direct permissions from the federal government to make the movie happen. You'd have to go to the Don for permission on this, I guess. I don't know. I think he's crazy. I thought this was going to be it. This was the movie that Tom Cruise was going to die in, because the guy keeps putting himself in every situation to he's crazy. Yeah, they were going to film this movie in space. Did you know about that? No? Yeah. Tom Cruise wanted to do this whole, like, sci-fi movie.
Like low
all
orbit.
filmed in actually film it in space.
Low orbit or what?
Well, I would think so. I mean, everything we're doing in space is low orbit right now.
Yeah.
We've not gone past since we've gone to the moon. We're really not doing much in space. It's pretty pathetic, honestly.
Like they're barely getting to where they lose any gravity at all, right?
Well, they do up there. I mean, they do. I mean, they're up enough to lose gravity and be, you know, but they're still in the lower orbit. I mean, they really don't venture out too far. Because are we under quarantine because of aliens? I don't know. Is that why Tom Cruise really didn't want to ask Don, or is it because of aliens? I don't know. I was excited for this, actually. I really was. You know, it doesn't care. I mean, if you don't watch movies because you don't like the actors and their thoughts and beliefs, like I'm not a fan of Scientology, you have no movies to watch. I mean, seriously, there's a ton of movies I love, and I think the actors in them are complete a-holes.
Stories and what they might be trying to tell you.
Oh, I'm a huge Spielberg fan, as everybody knows, and this was Jason. What do you think of the new super secret Spielberg movie? It's super secret. I don't know much about it, except that it's called Disclosure, like you know. I'm excited to see it. You know me, I love Spielberg. You know, I hope he's not part of the whole, like, you know, horrible things they say about people in Hollywood. I hope not. I hope not.
The Red
I love Spielberg. He's one of my favorite directors. One of my favorite directors. Like I said, I always tell people to go see the Taken miniseries he did years ago that not many people know about. I love that. I love that miniseries. I mean, it's totally fictional, but the whole idea of like starting with the Roswell event and like following these different families, it was just a good story, and it was like a good miniseries. Plus, besides the fact of like Jaws, Goonies, you know, like Indiana Jones and all that stuff, you know, like yeah, I love Spielberg. Poltergeist. I mean, I can keep going. Spielberg movies I love. You know, Saving Private Ryan. I mean, come on, I can keep going. I do love Spielberg. That's what I'm saying, man. I hate to find out, like, you hear things about Hollywood and these actors and producers and directors.
Yeah, DICK, but I could be wrong. I'll have to look that up. I don't know why I'm thinking that.
I don't know. Spielberg's always been immensely interested in the alien topic. You know, immensely alien in it, you know, a big influence in the way I think society views aliens. You know, I think there was a huge shift with movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T. Was like a little more friendly kind of alien experience compared to like, you know, Alien, like the Xenomorph or something like that, or 1950s horror. You know, Spielberg kind of changed that a little bit, I think. We do got a call on the line. Let's see, who do we got? Who do we got on the line?
Hi, Jason. It's Ariana.
Hey, Ariana.
How is everybody tonight?
Doing good, doing good.
Hey.
Excellent. Hi, Jamie. I wanted to say a couple of comments with the government, and as far as disclosure and hybrids and things like that, and aliens and stuff. I kind of think that we'll never know. I'm probably repeating myself.
Yeah.
We'll never know the truth.
You don't think we'll never? I see. I don't know. I feel that way too. Like we're never going to know. It's always going to be just had like the carrot in front of us, you know. But or maybe we do finally get the final reveal in our lifetimes. I don't know.
Well, I kind of also think my own opinion is that some people in the government think that, you know, we're the smartest, we're the top, okay? There's no one smarter than us. And everybody else
we're
is,
peasants.
You know, they don't know anything. So I think that if it was proved that aliens, ETs, or whatever you want to call it, actually came out with something to prove that they were smarter and that we were not, well, we don't have all the secrets, you know, that I don't think they would admit it.
Do you think they told Trump? I'm not trying to be political. I don't politics of it, or how anybody feels about him or anybody else, but do you think they told Trump?
I don't know. Two thoughts on that. If you ever watched National Treasure with Nicolas Cage and
Yeah, I remember.
A few other people. The president, they were going to kidnap him because he had the book of secrets or something. And supposedly it was a book that only was passed down. It was a secret book. No one knew about it. And it was given to each president. And it held all the secrets, aliens, and various other things. And only a president was allowed to view it.
Yeah, I remember.
I know it's a movie, but I'm wondering if there was.
See, I don't think there is. I think there is some kind of briefing we do with presidents on this topic, and it's changed depending on the president and what's going on. I think it's changed drastically over the years now in the last 10 years with the whole disclosure movement, especially. I mean, they say they briefed, according to David Gersh, that they briefed Trump in his first term on it. But, like I said, he's not showed a lot of interest on it, but he did announce Space Force, right? They say, hey, we got secrets anti-gravity technology. I could definitely see Trump going, oh, well, we're going to have a Space Force. Or like, well, we already have one. Oh, well, we have a Space Force, and I'm going to take credit for it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's the case. I think there's some things they tell him, but I like David Gersher saying that they're telling about the whole alien hybrid, like deep down the rabbit hole conspiracy kind of thing on this thing. I don't think they're having these conversations with presidents. I really don't anymore. I don't think they can. I don't think these guys have the mentality to handle it, be it Biden or Trump or any of the Obama or Clinton. I think they can't trust these people.
Well, who would want? Which government would actually want to admit that there are smarter races than us species, and we're just babies?
You remember Independence Day? I love that scene where, like, the president's like, "No, there is no such thing as an Area 51. We would know about it. And his advisor or whatever is like, well, like his advisor knew it and he did not. Because his advisor worked for the CIA while he was just a politician.
Yeah. But I also wonder. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're right.
But I also wonder sometimes, with all the, usually weaponry, with all the advanced stuff that we have.
Well, you hear Trump say it. You hear Trump say, "Oh, we have things that would blow your mind." He says big things like, "You have no idea." And he's not talking about aliens. He's just saying our military-industrial complex, right? Like we have these things. Well, why do we have these things? Probably because we've reverse engineered them. And like I said, John Trump, his uncle, who had the Tesla stuff, is very interesting. Whole sideline story to that too.
Well, there was also way back. There was World War II. That there was a water, a car engine that ran on water.
There's been several of them, and all those people died. Anybody who's done anything that runs on not anything but gasoline somehow dies in some mysterious way.
Right, and supposedly supposedly World War II, with that evil person, decided he was going to do it. Have these cars for his military, right? For himself and for his side, right? And that got quashed. And I think they burned the records and just killed everybody.
You got stuff like you have stuff like that. When you get into the Nazis in World War II, that they had, you had the Wonder Weapon, whatever. And that they had some UFO or alien technology. There was supposedly a crash. They were trying to reverse engineer it. But you're talking about before there was before we had microprocessors and transistors. We're talking. The Germans were way ahead of everybody on a lot of things. But it's hard for me to believe that they were reverse engineering stuff so at that early of a stage. But people swear that they had some kind of technology or whatever. Car that ran on water. I don't know. I think it's possible. I think a lot of people, anybody does 0-point energy, cars that run on water, any of those things. Like I said, there's a long list of dead people.
I don't know exactly how it worked, but I do remember hearing a lot about it. And they had tested it, and they had some some models, some car models, and it supposedly worked, but they kind of chopped it down, and considering the time, the wartime, and stuff like that, and they all credit it to him, you know.
Well, only thing
to Hitler.
what I would say is, like, you know, if they had that ability, they would have used it to use water to fuel vehicles. The Germans would have used it because it would have freed them up from and made them more independent. You know, they had to do a lot of deals with other countries for that fuel half the time for their vehicles. It would change a lot of things if they had actually had that technology. But they might have had some kind of, who knows, things that were just towards the end they were starting to figure out. Who knows? I mean, we were like, Werner von Braun, before the end of the war, was already working on secretly, like, basically sabotaging stuff and trying to work on getting scientists out of there, Project Paperclip. And most of our moon landing NASA project were all ex-Nazi scientists.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if there was a car and it wasn't in existence, was a water running engine, whatever, I think that the gas, you know, you would all the gas industries and things would be, you know, bankrupt at this point. But
well, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you discovered like 0 point energy, or you released, we have alien technology that we can use to get 0 point energy, we'd be like, okay, let's use it. We can feed the world. We can power the world and industry and everything. But you know, our dollars, the petrodollar, it would destroy the oil industry, right? And then it would destroy whole economies and industries. And you know, that's multi-billions and trillions of dollars at stake. So yeah, they might kill people over that. And Craig Wood said, yeah, you know, hydrogen power, H2O. We know we can power off of water, hydrogen. Bob Lazar, famously from the, you know, with working at Area 51, his side project as a chemist and all that was, and a physicist, was building a hydrogen engine Corvette. He built it in a Corvette. He actually had little pellets he patented to fuel hydrogen pellets to fuel it. It's really interesting.
I think Australia has been putting together some vehicles or motors like this.
Yeah. You know, I love how quickly Bill Gates dropped the whole climate change thing now that he's like invested heavily in data centers. You know, like, you know, imagine, you know, they want to help climate there. You get rid of all the gas combustion cars if you just let us have all the technology they've hidden over the years that could run these cars without gas. The people they killed for it.
Yeah. And the thing with Egypt, when you said a while back, right, about the
columns,
the pillars, towers, whatever. I think that, you know, and I've said it before, I think that if they actually went back, got rid of their, you know, their mythos of whatever they think the pyramids are, and started from scratch, I think that it's, you know, pretty much it's all agreed that there's so much more interesting stuff with the pyramids, and call it what you want, energy, stargates, whatever it is. And we just hear about what they want us to hear. And unfortunately, I don't think even if they know it, we would never find out about it.
I think the powers know a lot of the ancient mysteries and the history that that is the official narrative they know is bull. What tells me of that is the Iraq War. So much of that Iraq War, I think, was an operation to go in and get ancient artifacts out of the Mesopotamia, Iraq area that are related to aliens, probably, or ancient civilizations that had contact with aliens. Or they're just doing it because they're really rich and they want artifacts to go with their Babylonian secret cult.
Well,
religion.
you know,
I don't know, but I think they know that our history is definitely not the what's given to us as the official.
No, the history that we learn is not definitely the true history, you know? So, yeah, I think but that area also is rich in history, and they have found things from ancient times that we can speculate, and we have theories and controversies on them, but I mean, I don't think we hear about those.
Yeah, I think the main thing with the pyramids is that how old they say they are way off base. I think there's a lot of evidence to show that they're way older than they could say they, and it comes down to a cultural thing because the Egyptians as a people want to say we built this, and maybe you did, but I think whatever your ancient ancestors were something different, a fallen civilization that's crumbled to dust.
Well, they have
advanced civilization.
Unfortunately, they have possession of them, so
Yeah, we all know how Ali Swass, you say his name, how you say that guy's name, is not a fan of any of the ancient alien stuff, and he's a total arrogant a-hole about it too.
He's fired a couple of people that have wanted to study or work with him just because of their theories, and
he was on Joe Rogan, totally about ready to hyperventilate over this theory of how ridiculous he thought it was. But I think these guys are onto something. I think they're onto something. At first, I was like a little skeptical of their findings of the research, but there's more data backing them up. They've tested this on other areas and found they get reliable, confirmable results that match the data. I think they might be onto something, but will we ever actually know? Just like the room under the paw of the Sphinx. Is that there? I don't know. There's to say they've been able to identify that there is, but they'll never dig down there and find out, will they?
No.
If they did, they won't tell us.
And if they have found it, they've closed it off.
Yeah.
So
it'll be the next Indiana Jones movie. You'll find out Indiana Jones got under the paw of the Sphinx, and then this is for better men. Wherever they lock it up into the warehouse or something, whatever they found there.
Yeah, like the giants. They found evidence of giants that were buried either in caves or deserts or something like that.
Well, they say there's still giants in Kandahar, Afghanistan, right? I mean, there's those.
Yeah, some reputable person from a museum comes by, and you never hear about it again. They disappeared.
Why keep that a secret all these years? Why the collaboration between universities and different entities in this that have kept giants secret? I don't know. We have to keep the official narrative of history or something. I don't know. I mean, to go along with the biblical ideas of giants being here. You have not just that. You have all the Greek gods. You have the whole Gilgamesh was a giant. All these other Mesopotamian stories. I think there's a lot of evidence to say that there were giants in our past. There was some human form that was a lot bigger.
Yeah. I did have a question for you though, Jason. I did see the show Taken that you keep referring to. I did see it and I did like it. Was that just like quietly taken off the air, or
it aired once. It just aired once. The miniseries played out on TV, and that was it. I have it on box set. I bought it on box set, but they never they never repeated it again. I think I've seen one time I caught it on some sci-fi channel, maybe thing they were replaying it. But that happens though. That's no conspiracy. That's just TV. They made a lot of miniseries. They never repeated again and played again. And I don't think it got huge, rave, I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people did watch it when it first came out, and it just, I don't know, fell between the cracks of, but I think it's one of Spielberg's greatest works on this topic. E.T. friendly, his finger glows, whatever, I fell asleep on that when I was a kid. You can ask my mom. I love Close Encounters of the Third Kind, though. That's one of my up there favorite movies. And that's more along the lines of the kind of Spielberg stuff I like, and I'm hoping this Disclosure's along that line. That is new movie.
I don't know. What does he know? Does he have privy to things?
Yeah, I don't know.
Steven Spielberg?
I don't know as much as you do on that. People have speculated of that over the years. Do these guys, insiders like Stanley Kubrick, all these years, people say he faked the moon landing. It is not the video you see of Stanley Kubrick admitting that is not Stanley Kubrick. I've had to tell people that a billion times. It does not exist. It's not a real video. It's a fake. Stanley Kubrick did never admit to faking the moon landing. He did never admit that. He did make Eyes Wide Shut and then died right shortly after that. That's something people should look into.
That was a creepy, I don't know, movie.
Stanley Kubrick's another one of my favorite directors too. But
Yeah.
him and Spielberg, did they know? I mean, back then, if you wanted to fake the moon landing, I guess Kubrick would be your guy to go to. But if for Spielberg, why would they let him know? I don't know. At the same time, I feel like what he showed in Close Encounters of the Third Kind was, he said, I mean, they did they did hundreds of interviews with people, and they had Jack Valet, whatever, one of the famous researchers involved in it, and they used tidbits from other UFO lore and mythology, but one of the things they used was the whole plot line to the whole later conspiracy of Serpico, where at the end of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the aliens make this exchange or whatever, where they end up taking just Richard Dreyfuss. They have all these people ready to go, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna just take that guy."
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
But that's like I always thought they should have done a sequel to that. Like Richard Dreyfuss comes back from the planet.
I thought they would have. That would have been rather interesting.
Yeah, Spielberg's too good for sequels. Unless it makes him a lot of money, and he just steps away and lets them produce it, and he just takes the check like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, he does that. He does that. Well, let's see what Disclosure does. If that,
I still gotta see. I gotta
know.
see the documentary that's out. What's it called? That new documentary, but they still want $20 for it right now on Amazon.
Oh,
the one where you got like Mark Rubio and other government officials talking about UFOs and some big disclosures in it. I don't know. I've had some friends that watched it, and they've told me a little bit what they saw. I've watched the interview. The director on Joe Rogan I want to see it. But is it a really big disclosure? No. It's an interesting documentary.
I don't know. Maybe something else other than what they try to brainwash us with, right?
It's a war over our minds and souls every day.
Definitely.
It's called programming on TV all these years because they're trying to program you.
Like another perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe Richard Dreyfuss looked tasty. That's why they picked him. He looked, I don't know. He looked pretty grubby by that time.
Star Trek, you remember the original series or possibly
you should know I
seen
remember. Of course, come on now. Who are you talking to?
And there was always rumors that Gene Roddenberry had an in with.
This is what Craig Wood is saying here too. I think Gene Roddenberry knew a lot. They did this episode on Ancient Aliens where they talk about the Council of Nine, and Gene Roddenberry was involved with this this group that was channeling. Now he had some connection to him, but not before his Star Trek creation. So that's the problem with that whole thing. Ancient Aliens, I love the show. I go to sleep to it at night a lot, but they get stuff wrong, just like everything else in Hollywood. And that's when I think it's a very loose, very, very loose connection. I'd love to think that he created Star Trek out of like things that these people were channeling about some Federation. I have my doubts about that theory.
I don't know. They said that a lot of in the later series with LeVar Burton, when he was the blind guy and he had those glasses or something.
Geordi, yeah.
They said that they were actually developing something like that for people who have bad vision.
Oh yeah, they have been working. I mean, that's some of the stuff that we all get scared about, the stuff that Tesla's doing with brain implants and chips and stuff. But I'll admit some of the stuff he's doing is going to help people see better than what Geordi had. Geordi had a crappy device. It did let him see into spectrums that normal humans couldn't see in, but otherwise it was kind of crappy. If you saw how Geordi saw things, it's like, yeah, you can see it in the spectrums, but you can't tell if this shirt's red. Yeah. Things like that. It's like, Geordi had, later on in the Star Trek series, they give him like actual eyes. It's like, oh yeah, I would think in the 24th century they got better than some visor they can put on their head. I don't know.
True.
They regrow your eyes. They can regrow your eyes, and they actually did that now. They show that they did that in the Strange New World series. One of these characters has his eyes literally taken out of his head from this alien, and they were like, "We're going to regrow him. We're going to regrow his eyes." I'm like, "Well, what about this? Is supposed to be before Geordi? That screws things up." And they didn't regrow his eyes. Yeah.
I hate eyes.
Sorry, I'm geeking out. Star
Yeah.
Trek.
I get
But yeah, I
creeped
had
out.
Craig in there say about, like, do you think Gene Roddenberry knew something? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe. A lot of that, like I said, I was really interested in that whole Council of Nine thing when I saw that Ancient Aliens episode, but when I kind of researched it, I found that it was kind of bullcrap.
Yeah, kind of hits a nerve, so to speak. You know, when you hear some of the stuff that's on TV and on different shows, and you go, "Whoa, look at that!" You know. How'd they get that?
Here, Craig says, well, look at the earlier cell phones. Just look at TOS communicators, the flip phone. Yeah, I think Gene Roddenberry was ahead of his time. I think he had a lot of crazy... Dude, the guy was crazy. But he was great. He was brilliant. I mean, like, the fact that, when he fought for Star Trek, when he wanted the second in command to the captain to be a woman, well, they shot that down after the pilot. They didn't let him do that. But he's fine. I'm gonna have a Russian. I'm gonna have somebody who's from Asian descent. I'm gonna have because in the future we should all be getting along. There is no future for humanity if we all can't get along and come together, right?
Yeah,
that was a brilliant idea. And in all the technological things, that he foresaw, and others. There was other writers involved and creators with Star Trek, but mainly Gene Roddenberry's vision. He had this vision of the future. The thing is, if anybody's a Star Trek fan, I highly recommend go watch a documentary. What's it called? Where they talk about the Star Trek: The Next Generation. By the time he gets to Star Trek: The Next Generation, Gene Roddenberry had a lot of personal issues. He was an alcoholic. And a lot of the first season of Next Generation is not so great, and that's a lot of Gene Roddenberry's fault. I'm not trying to down the man, but he wanted to do, like, there's a planet called Risa, and in it, it's like a holiday vacation spot for the Starfleet officers. And his vision of Risa, like, everybody was going to be nude walking on set, and men with men, women with women, and all kinds. Like you want to talk about somebody who was very progressive? Gene Roddenberry, baby. They had to hold him back. He wanted to do some crazy things in 1990 with Star Trek's Next Generation, but he was also a little bit drunk and on his last legs there. But
definitely
I love the Method Man.
Before his time, right?
yeah, definitely. The first interracial kiss, right? Yeah. He pushed boundaries nobody was pushing back then. It was great. It needed to be done.
Definitely.
And honestly, they canceled the show. Ratings. Well, obviously, your rating system sucks, how you judge things, because so many people, it became a cultural icon. People were watching it. How do you can say that the ratings weren't good enough when it left such an imprint and stamp and generations of fans from one TV show you canceled after 4 seasons or whatever, Always they let so many stupid shows over the decades go for so long. But the best sci-fi shows are like Firefly, 1 season. Star Trek, 4 seasons. Like they cancel them. Because the people that are up at the top, they're like, oh, the Nielsen's ratings. I mean, those don't even matter anymore, do they? They don't. Not with internet and people and streaming services. Now they can just tell from streaming services.
I used to watch Farscape.
Oh my God, yeah! I got my kids watching. We got to go back to watching it. A couple years ago, we started watching it when I have the whole box set. I'm a huge Jim Henson fan, and that was his son. Took over Jim Henson Company. That was one of his first big projects, was Farscape, and I love that show. I love that show. That's a great call out. Love Farscape.
Now there's a show. The ship was actually living, I think.
Yes, it was a Leviathan, is what they call it, and it was a living ship. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody that was on the ship was just. I mean, again, they were all diverse.
Oh yeah, I mean, Farscape was ahead of its time. It didn't, it was Sci-Fi's highest rated show, but they still had to cancel it because they were out of money. They were out of money. They couldn't fund the damn show. Yeah. But it was their highest rated show, and then they went and got wrestling. Sorry, Heather Wood, I know you're a big wrestling fan, but I hated that. I was like, you're not. What's the Sci-Fi about wrestling? Yeah, they went down the hill. And then they had, the last great show a Sci-Fi Channel had was Resident Alien, and then they sold it off to somebody else, and then they.
I love that show.
Resident Alien was great too.
That's the closest thing that a lot of the stuff that was mentioned. It was like, wow,
Oh yeah, dude, the references they make in that show, like to the down the rabbit hole of things, of the all the UFO lore and conspiracy theories you want to call them, man. They really hit a lot upon those themes in that show, really great in humorous ways. But they didn't they didn't hold back.
And they even had what's her name from Terminator.
Oh yeah,
That-
Linda
she was
Hamilton's in
cool.
Stranger Things this season. She's just trying to get her career to come back, I guess, or something. I don't know, but she's the bad
She was-
guy in Stranger Things, one of them, this year.
Yeah, she was cool in Resident Alien. So that was
Yeah, she was.
that was
Yeah.
neat.
But Alan Tudyk is
Yeah.
like a brilliant actor. I mean, how they canceled that show. Like I knew a ton of people watched that show, but they screwed around
They
with it
always
in sci-fi. They always cancel the good stuff.
I know they always cancel all the shows, and then there's nothing to watch, and it's like, yeah, okay, they're not just. Yeah.
I know. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Sci-fi is not in a great state these days. No, it isn't. It isn't. Yeah, they've really ruined.
Hmm.
They like ruin all the good franchises, or just they come out with something new that totally just destroys it, kills the fan base. Oh yeah, Lex.
Yeah.
That's another living shit. That was a good show too. Lex.
I saw some of that, Lex. Yeah.
Yeah, Lex. I
Yeah.
love Lex. That was another really good one. That was a living ship too.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. It was.
That came out before Farscape, if I remember right.
Was it before or after?
I think it was before Farscape. Lex did. But Farscape was so cool because it was Jim Henson production. So not only did they was like a merger of the first really good CGI being used on TV. That's what cost them the most was the CGI. And then on top of it, they did like master puppeteering because it's Jim Henson.
Yeah.
The Rigel, the alien that farted helium and all that, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
alien creatures they had
Yeah.
are all like Muppet production, but like made to look like
Yeah.
living real things. It was I love Jim Henson.
Yeah.
It wasn't Jim Henson; it was
Oh.
his son. But they did an awesome
Yeah,
job with that show.
I've
Oh,
watched
the
those
other
shows,
show-
like them making those.
If you can
puppets.
ever find Farscape on a streaming service, watch it. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, they still have it, I think, on some of them. The other show, I don't know, it didn't get a lot of airplay, I don't think. It was an English show. Torchwood?
Oh well, that's a Doctor Who spinoff.
Oh,
Torchwood is.
okay.
But yeah,
I-
that's like Doctor Who wants to be adult now and do naughty, raunchy things. That's what the Torchwood was. I love the first season of Torchwood. It was really good.
Yeah, but you could they did time travel, though.
Oh yeah, because it was like I said, it was a spinoff from Doctor Who.
You know? I didn't realize.
Jack, the main character in there, came from the Doctor Who universe.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I
but
love
that
that
was
character.
that was a cool show. Yeah, that was a cool show.
Well, you should watch Doctor Who now. The revamp. You don't have to watch the original. Just go watch the first season of the revamp. That'll lead you right into Torchwood.
Okay.
We're geeking out tonight.
So I'm saying,
We're getting geeky.
So I'm saying,
Nerdy.
which Doctor Who? They used to have like. used to
Start
change
with Christopher Eccleston, the first season, the ninth Doctor. That's when you
Okay.
meet Jack, who later is the head of Torchwood and everything. And it's one of my favorite parts of the Doctor Who series is when they meet
Right,
Jack.
Yeah. He was the one. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I have to go back and look some of that stuff up.
Yeah.
So-
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anybody check out Farscape too? Great sci-fi show. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Thank you for taking my call. And like anything, everybody have a blessed evening. You and your families, and of course the fur babies, especially in the winter. It's really cold
It's cold here.
or rainy.
I got to drive my kids
Wherever
to school
you
tomorrow.
are.
I am not looking forward to it.
Yeah, so be careful.
I hope my car
Be
starts.
careful.
Well, have a
Yeah,
great night,
and watch
Ariana. And see you next Sunday.
Yeah, it's been-
Next Sunday, I don't have a guest. I should be doing a show, but it'll be another short one, and it'll probably be open line. So call in next Sunday and talk to me.
Are you going to do games, maybe?
I can. We can do a Zender card game next week, Sunday. We're getting late now. I'm probably going to end the show here soon. But we can do that next Sunday, I guess.
Okay.
We could try some Zender card games.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
You too, Ariana.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
I have been thinking about trying to read the tarot again. See if I could do it. I've been thinking about trying it. Would you want a reading from the great tarot reader, Jason Blonde? No, I'm not great at all. It'll be really bad, probably, but I try. I don't know. See if we have anything in the chat room before I go. Free P. Diddy? No, let's not.
Ow, they don't bite.
Yeah, they have all these channels. Like Pluto's great, and I gotta get like my TV in my living room is hooked up to an Xbox. I have to watch two services on there, and Pluto's one of them. We got on the Xbox, but I want a Roku TV in my living room because I got them in our bedroom, and there's so much free stuff on Roku too. Like
oh my gosh,
like ghost hunting shows and stuff.
My mom has like a Panasonic like whatever TV from 2016 or something. I don't know. But I looked and she could get a Roku TV, like plug-in thing for it. Because right now she can only get like YouTube and like two other things, Hulu and something on it.
Hello.
You're on the air. Who do we got on the line?
Drake, the same guy that's been on for a while, but probably calling from a different number as usual.
You said Jake?
Drake.
Drake. You know Drake?
Drake.
Dragon?
Oh, Drake.
Drake.
You're kind of muffled. The Drake. Oh, hey, Drake. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know if I have my headset. I didn't really pop on a headset. I just figured to give you guys a call.
I can hear you. You're good.
Probably late at night.
No, you're
what?
Good. You're good. We hear you.
All right. Just wondering if it was echoing through the speakerphone, but
No, not too bad. I can hear you all right.
yeah, I guess you're kind of a sci-fi series nerd because around the generation that I guess that I grew up with, you were a kind of fan of.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge sci-fi nerd.
Yeah. So anyhow, the thing, I guess I could bring a few topics up real quickly, and since you're probably going to end the show early, I mean, kudos to the Waverly Hills. I went there summer and did a little bit of video recording, and probably the most eeriest place you can ever investigate if you ever decide to make a trip out there.
One day
So I took a team out there.
Even my boss I work
hope
with is
to
going to
actually
go
take
there, and
another-
I haven't.
Yeah, I hope to take another group out there again in the next future, depending on how much issue. But we had a great time. That when you have the whole place to yourself and weird sounds go across the hallway, you're radioing in on your high-power radio saying, like, what the heck? Were you down at the hall? No, we're like 3 floors below you.
Hey, what's the age limit on there for that to go in there?
I wouldn't recommend anyone who has to go up and down stairs because there's a lot of stair travel. But one of the previous investigator was nice enough to fix the plumbing on the 4th floor, so you do have a bathroom up there on the top floor. So a working bathroom, surprisingly.
Yeah,
so
that's nice at a place
that's what we heard.
I just wonder what,
it's cool because they
what
actually
the
have-
age limit is because my sons are getting older, and the best time they had on a vacation is when I took them to the St. Augustine Lighthouse on the Honda tour.
Well, as far as I know, I mean, it's there's young YouTubers who have investigated there alone, as what I was told from the people who run it, and they're like in their 20s and stuff like that, really young 20s. So I don't know. There may be some limits, but you would have to ask the people who run the facility. But they do use those private investigations for their.
We're talking about going on
Go ahead.
vacation. Next time we go on vacation, somewhere trying to, if we go somewhere, planning it to, because the kids really, that was their favorite part of the Florida trip, was doing that with Rob at St. Augustine Lighthouse, is take another vacation somewhere and go somewhere on a haunted tour or a haunted.
I've been to Florida 4 times. I've been to Florida 4 times this year, and I haven't yet ran into Rob for some odd reason.
You got to go to St. Augustine.
But yeah, that was. But somewhere like Waverly Hills and some of those other places, they do have some ghost tours and stuff that don't really have an age limit. So they take a standard tour. But we were doing the overnight investigation,
Yeah.
so they let us
I
run
miss those
wild.
days.
You sign
I
a bunch
miss
of
those
waiver, you set up base camp and stuff like that.
I miss the days of getting to do that. I don't think I'll get to do that for a long time from now. Not with kids, but I might.
Well,
we're
I
gonna
do
is
offer
haunted
running-
tours.
Yeah, we do. I do offer some of that stuff from time to time with some of my friends to try to together and try something a little bit new, because it's always fun when you have the whole place to yourself. It's pretty much you're in control of the whole area.
Yeah, like if you're actually seriously investigating, that's what you need.
Yeah. The serious group of people, so some of us investigators. Anyhow, the other topic I also want to bring up is a thing called AI. I'm sure Jamie was interested in it as I mentioned it. I am literally blown away last week. I literally uploaded a reference of my character, the Purple Dragon dude, and it brought it to life in like a 10-second video footage. I'm like, wait a minute, that's only like someone who can imagine it. So I'm actually really impressed at what AI can do right now. There's literally no limit.
There really
That's
is,
like
and that's
an example in the right hands with the right intent. It can be really cute.
Did you hear what Disney did, though? They went and sent cease and desist orders to Google's AI to tell them to stop making
They
Disney
also went and invested in AI technology, like $1 billion recently. So
Yeah,
as a little
'cause
bit starter
actors are gonna be out of
myself in the
jobs.
AI. Well, yes and no. The job is going to change, but I do understand where I do kind of feel bad for some of the artists out there that wanted to make big, but the industry is changing. So, but when it comes to the AI universe, it's still, some people consider it new, but there's so many different models out there, hundreds. I've been tinkering with several types of AI. One of them is called Vision AI for visual recognition, and I'm having a lot of fun. I basically sent a video with 100 people in it and is able to identify 100 people at 30 times a second, which is really impressive, which is something I can't even do as a human.
Yeah, they
So
use that now to
it's
identify
got
people in crowds for surveillance.
Exactly. Actually, I'm working on a source code right now that an AI helped me get working.
Like the
Surprisingly, because I couldn't get it
Minority
working.
Report or
Is
something.
one that will supposedly take advantage of some of the GPUs on our network and be able to identify the people walking around through our cameras, so I can figure out who's who. Because I have 100 cameras at the office, and it's a pain to go through. But I also was looking at some really nice AI-powered robots that actually are offline, which means you don't need the cloud. And I was watching some demos of it actually going into a abandoned room and be able to move around and safely travel around and do things like that. So I've been wanting to maybe focus my attention to AI offline technology where it's not connected to the cloud, and I can actually train it with models and different models and see what it actually understands and what doesn't. But the thing that blows my mind is how it's very creepy in how it answers the questions and how it actually figures stuff out. It's to the point where as a 20-year software engineer, I don't even understand how it works.
Yeah.
That's why I'm blown away. I can't understand how it even works. I'm tearing it apart from the upper-level programming.
That's my
which
fear
is-
of humanity is we forget how to even build the things, and they just build themselves. And then we don't even know how to
And
control it anymore.
And that's the scary part is because I'm a reverse engineer. I always figure out how something works before I use it. I can kind of tear it apart. Oh, that's the Disney magic behind the scenes. And, it's still fun to watch, but there's a lot of kids that love watching the Disney magic. But at the same time is that if I can't figure out how this works, it's literally blowing my mind because it's just like when an artist first time showed me something out of a concept I gave them and they brought it to life, and I'm an engineer, so I work with the real world physics and they work with the paintbrush and the imaginary world. It blows my mind what an artist can come up with. But when you see a technology, every once in a while it blows your mind. Either you could ride the wave, you can ignore it, or you can learn to see what makes it tick, so you always have that kill switch with you, handy to go.
Yeah, but when it's coding itself and building itself is when we lose control, and that's where it's heading. Coders are
well,
running
that's what we need. We'll have another Independence Day.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the physics behind the technology is very impressive from what I'm seeing, and this is coming from someone who's like, I've been playing with AI since '96 when a couple of clever students came up with some way to chat with some formulated responses and kind of worked its way into the game industry. But this is way different than what I've seen nearly 30 years ago. Way different.
Oh, yeah. And we start getting to the quantum computing and everything else, and the speeds are getting faster. We're going to create a new form of consciousness.
Well, that's the crazy part about quantum computers is that if you're familiar, it works on probability curve. So in order to observe that, they call it the quantum level using microwave responses or electromagnetic responses, kind of like our EMF detector picking up in a room weird hits for no reason. So my theory that kind of is in there, that it has kind of passed its way around some of the sci-fi community as well, is that quantum computing at room temperature is a human brain, because we think in a way that we're kind of unadulterated, if you want to say it. So we're kind of random, but we have the ability to kind of connect neurons together and So 2 and 2 together, 4 and 4, 100 and 100, and kind of operate in a way like what these computers operate. But the amount of stuff going in that our mind thinks is kind of more random. So it's kind of like, well, we could speculate something might happen, and it comes true because of all the speculation
Creativity,
we do.
randomness,
Intuitiveness,
things that human nature
you
has.
mix the two together.
Can you build that into a machine? You know.
That's coming next because we haven't figured out a way to make observe quantum phenomenon at room temperature. But I think the biggest computer is sitting right in front of us. It's the human brain. It's already there.
Well, that's my other fear is when they start mixing, because they're already doing this, or making processors with brain cells.
Bioengineering, yes. I actually ran into a few of that. There was one case of developing a human brain, which was actually a rat brain, supposedly, and showing it that it actually showed cognitive response, but it's a single cell. So a single cell would be like one CPU. It's only a matter of time someone figures out how to run 15,000 in parallel, and all those number of decisions are no longer logical decisions. They're quantum decisions. Yeah, and that's where I think we're going to hit the breakthrough in 5 years. And that's why I want to get into this right now. Either it can go in two directions. Yeah, we could see Skynet. I've been asking that question. We have Starlink. We're about at the two-thirds there.
Well, if we don't kill ourselves with AI and Terminator machines in the future, and you somehow become a multi-billionaire from your AI, whatever you're ahead of the times here, you remember this. You remember me. You remember me.
Yeah, this is why I really want to learn the technology. I love learning things that blow my mind. A true story, when we got hacked into by ransomware attack a few years ago, everyone was freaking out. Can we recover? How much damage is? They're all worried about the cost. I'm sitting there like, I'm very impressed. Someone figured out how to get in. So now putting that in today's term with AI and compute technology, it blows my mind when someone or some machine can figure out something that I can't figure out. It's kind of like Penn and Teller's Fool This. It's like, fool me, fool Drake here, and he'll try to figure it out. And he'll get to the bottom of it eventually. But like I said, I'm always impressed when I see something that really blows my mind. Like I said, for many years, I've been on this planet.
Hang on to your seats, because I think in the next couple of years you're going to see a lot of things that are probably going to blow your mind when it comes to this stuff. Hopefully not scarily.
Oh yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring some. And one of my 26 goals, going to be my New Year resolution, is not only learn how AI works, at least train the better models of it, and maybe take it on a few investigations with me too as well, and see what it detects, because it can register things faster than I can and have it assist me like an assistant, but doing it towards other things that are not normally explained. Because what blows my mind is that
dead is what you're thinking.
Well, what's impressive right now is that I've been playing with even lower performance models. Yeah, if you ask why the sky is blue and run it on your classic CPU, be aware to wait for a few minutes before it formulates a response, because it does calculate. It eats up a lot of your RAM. And my last project here on my table, I actually blew the power supply out. It overloaded the power supply. So and that was just a low variant of it. I was just trying out some basic processing. So I'm playing around with understanding how it works and what it can do. Like I said, it may actually emulate, like you said, the human brain, and it may get very close into that last breakthrough. And that breakthrough could happen in 5 years. That's why I want to learn everything about it as a person who's always inquisitive to learn everything about something, like a nerd, a real nerd. And I will definitely report back to you. I hope to be on your show in the future for that reason.
You let me know. Well, Drake, thanks for calling in, bud.
Yeah, I think it's time to go. It's also getting late. I think you wanted to end the show early, and I also want to get home early, even though I'm 3 hours behind you.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I got to get up in about 6 hours to take my kids to school. So thank you, Drake, for calling in, man. You have a good night. You just keep in touch on this AI
You too. You have a good evening and a good week.
All right. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Later. Yeah, I think with that, I'm going to end the show because, I got to drive kids to school tomorrow. And usually I don't have to far drive. I drive them to a friend's house, and they drive them to school. But tomorrow I got to drive them to school, and that's like a 20-minute drive, and I got to be somewhat awake for that. And hopefully it's not snowing tomorrow morning, please. Oh, God, I hate winter. Next Sunday, like I said, I don't have a guest scheduled, so if we do a show, it's going to be another open line, short show, World Wide Web Weird. I had a lot of articles built up over the last couple weeks from not doing a show for a couple weeks, and then we had a guest last week, so I had a bunch of articles. I don't know what I'm going to have for next Sunday. Hopefully we get some good stories, whatever. It might be a really shorter show next week. I don't know. But I am working on trying to get us booked up with guests. It's been hard. Don't forget, thank you guys who are our channel members and Patrons for supporting the show. It does help pay the bills of the show. You can find a link to our Patreon in the show description, or if you're on YouTube, you just sign up there or that way to become a channel member. And like I said, it helps pay the bills for the shows. Thanks to everybody who comes out and watches the shows. Thank you everybody who shares the show out. Keep telling your friends where the weird happens live every Sunday night. Where's my music? There we go. Weird happens live every Sunday night. Same place, same bad time channel next Sunday, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks to everybody for watching the show. Have a great night. See you next week.